am a very different Pilates teacher. I say it to my clients all the time. In fact, these days I rarely refer to myself as a Pilates teacher. Sometimes I say movement teacher, but more often than not, I describe myself to those who know me best as a facilitator of change. And this wraps in all that I do, not just putting me in the box of Pilates teaching, not just sticking by the rules of this is what Pilates is and this is what I'm bringing to you. Because my background is in massage therapy, and that is another way that I facilitate change. Remember, I'm in the business of welcoming change, and I'm in the business of playing with divine play and divine dance, and how they bring to you an experience of change that you can then welcome. Remember that divine dance allows you to step up to the table of experience, and you're enabled through working with me to experience a change in your body, in your physical cells, and in your non-physical cells of your soul, or your minds, or your energetic holdings, or your inner being threads, many things that you won't even consider change happening in when you come to a Pilates class. Divine dance allows you to experience opportunities of change that you wouldn't usually be able to experience by working with me, because my energy shows you what it's like to have welcomed the change that I have. I have welcomed change and awakened. I have welcomed change and evolved. I have welcomed change in physical cells en route to true cellular form, which is every single cell in my body doing exactly what it's designed to do. For me, for the life that I chose to live. Supporting me in the life that I chose to live. So my energy can show you what that change could look like for you. Not to morph you into me, but what that change could look like for you. What does true cellular form look like to you? What does it feel like? Well, many people who step into my Pilates classes are coming because they want less pain, less tension, more mobility. They want to feel better, more vitality. They want to feel less restricted in their movements. And let me tell you something. You are way too important to come here to endure a life where you feel restricted in your movement, where your body stops you doing the things that you want to do, or where your body constantly draws your attention to a pain or a tension. You have bigger fish to fry than that. So do I facilitate change in your body? You're goddamn right I do. But is that all I do? Absolutely not. Because my friend, you are made up of more than just your physical cells. You are made up of those important non-physical cells as well. So do my classes bring change on varying levels? Absolutely. What do they do? Well, that all depends upon you, upon what change for you would be most welcomed, would be most relevant. Now, divine play is all about relevancy, because divine play will lead you to what divinely feels great. That means that you get to sample the buffet of change. You get to step up to that buffet with divine dance and experience change that you wouldn't be able to in any other Pilates class without me, any other movement class without me and divine dance. And then divine play says, well, hey, what if we were to play and experience and explore and investigate and see how that change suits your body, see how it fits? It's almost like putting on a new pair of trousers. Does it feel better? Does it feel good? Does it feel great divinely? Because there's another thing that you can definitely expect. Not only is change coming when you work with me, and not only is that change across a multitude of layers that you might not have even considered when you walk into my class thinking, well, maybe she can just release that pain in my lower back. But the change that's coming, because divine play is leading you towards what feels great divinely, the change that's coming is always going to be relevant for you. That means it's always going to be important in this moment. It's the next thing you need to take you where you want to go. And where do you want to go? Well, you want to live a life that you choose to live. You want to live a life as all of you. That's why you came. You came down here to experience the experience of living a physical life as all that you are. And that means that you came to experience all that you can be, because through living a physical life, you change. Because you are creating change. That leaves an imprint of change upon you. So therefore, in each moment you're changing. You may have well heard me say on one of these videos that when you come to a class with me, I tell you to expect that you have a different body to the last class you came to. I tell you to expect after each repetition of an exercise that your body is different. Can you feel it? Can you tune into it? Maybe not. Maybe not through your conscious mind, but it's true. And you know it to be true because since the last repetition, you've just done one more. That's the same when you're listening to me now. In this moment, you've just taken an extra breath. Your body has blinked, swallowed. Maybe it's moved. You are an ever-changing and ever-evolving vessel. You have change inherent as a part of you. So it's time for us to get comfortable with change. It's time for us to welcome the change in, especially when you work with me, because the change that you're welcoming is going to be relevant, it's going to be important for you, and it's going to take you where you want to go. And if you keep coming, it's going to lead you there with great speed. And before you know it, you're going to see a change in your life. Can I guarantee that? Absolutely. You just have to notice it. I know that the change that's coming is potent. I know the power and potency that divine dance and divine play bring to change. I know the ways in which they help change to impact. All you've got to do is welcome it. All you've got to do is get up close and comfortable with change. All you've got to do is accept that change is inherent to you. And then you've got to look for it. And you've got to expect it, even in the most unexpected places. How many of my clients walk into a Pilates class wanting physical change? A lot. How many of them are even more specific than that? They want muscular change. They want musculoskeletal change and neuromuscular change. They might not put those words to it, but that's what they're saying. I want this to feel a bit better. I want to move a bit easier through there. They're being very specific in the kinds of change that they're wanting from me. And I go, great, let's bring that. If that's what's most relevant for you in the moment. And this is the important thing with divine play. If you expect to see the change down one route, you might not see it. Because divine play sees the biggest picture and goes, oh, to get you here, I need to just bring some change here, or over here, or maybe back to there again. In order for you to get where you want to go, and trust me, where you want to go is important. Your wants are important. It's not that divine play knows better what you want. It's not that some of the things that you want are not relevant. If you want something, and you really want something, you are a powerful creator. You are a powerful facilitator of change. If you want something, you've got to go out and get that change because it's important to you. It's relevant to you. It's going to be impactful to your living. And that could be in the moment. That could be what we call a prioritised, emphasised want. That could be I want a glass of water and I want it now. That's you bringing change. That's your physical cells potentially calling and saying, hey, this is what I would need in this moment to bring you to a state where we can work better, where, guess what, you're going to be my cells are going to be working as they're designed to, in the best way they can, for the greatest good of the body, and the fluid consequences that come from that could be so far-reaching. Maybe a hydrated cell of your heart makes the heart muscle pump a bit quicker because that's what's needed. Maybe a hydrated cell of your lymphatic system is flowing out a toxin more easily that you don't want in your body. The fluid consequences can be so far-reaching, and that's why we don't even need to explore them. But giving you a little taster of them might be helpful. So you have those prioritised, emphasised wants in the moment. They're important. But so are your other wants. Your other wants are aligning to who you are, because you are the one that wants them. All you've got to make sure of is that you really want them. Because there are occasions on which we think we want something, and we've told ourselves we want something, and everyone else around us wants that. And everyone else around us is telling us that when we have that, we'll feel better. And I don't necessarily mean people, I mean society or media. When we have this, we'll feel this way. But maybe you won't. Maybe you won't, or maybe what you want is something else. How do you find that out? You've got to tune in. There's going to be another video on wants, because wants are so important. But I'm here today to talk about my movement classes. My movement classes include often a section called Move Without Moving. So that's right, you'll come to a movement class with me, and for a section of that class you won't move, but your body will change as though it's moving. This is powerful because this takes you away from trying to do something right. This takes you away from, oh, I've got to perfect that and it's got to look like this. It doesn't look like anything from the outside, but it feels. And energetically, you're encouraging change through movement. And that is what I do. I energetically encourage change. And what change do I encourage? Energetic change, and that's why it works, because it's that beautiful parallel. I energetically encourage energetic change in you. And energetic change is the umbrella that ripples to physical change, emotional change, mental change, spiritual change. All change is energetic. It's just how it shows up in your body. So expect the change. Look for change in the most unexpected ways. Come and experience a class with me, and you'll start to understand just what I mean by facilitating change, just what I mean by using movement, and sometimes using no movement, as a pathway to facilitate that change. I so often say in my classes, this is the movement we're going to do. This is what it's going to feel like. This is what it's going to look like. Now ask yourself, are you aligning to what feels good? Is there another way that you could do this movement that would feel better? Look for a different way to do it. Sample the options, the opportunities for change in that moment. I might be doing this one exercise. Let's say it's a squat, nice and easily recognisable for everybody. If you do a squat and there's a different way to do it, you're inviting change in that moment. Will it be better for you? Maybe. Maybe not. But in tasting it, you'll then go, oh, I did that in a slightly different way. I brought change. So from this new standpoint, as I do another squat, what more change can I encourage? Bringing change is what you do. It's time to get comfortable with change. It's time to welcome the change, because that's going to be driving you. Driving you where? Towards the life that you want to live. And you might think, wow, those are some big words for a Pilates teacher. I'm a facilitator of change. I'm not just a Pilates teacher. I'm Bryony. I'm a facilitator of change. I use movement. I use massage. Heck, sometimes I use essential oils. Sometimes I use visualization. Sometimes I use meditation. Sometimes I use energetic healing to facilitate my change. It's whatever's needed by you in that moment that's going to help you to welcome the change. And for some people, we need a pathway in. And movement is something that you can be comfortable with. You can be getting a bit closer to the change that you expect, to the change that you see in those moments. And then you broaden your horizons to expect change on other levels. I can't tell you the amount of people who come to my classes who tell me that they feel better after classes. And I know that they're not just talking from a physical level, they're talking from an emotional level. Because I am a facilitator of change. I have been doing this for millions of years. Come to one of my classes, experience it for yourself. I would love to have you there.